What happens when the checks you've been counting on for 40 years suddenly hang in the balance because politicians in Washington can't agree on a budget? October 1st, 2025. The federal government shut down. And if you're a senior living on Social Security, Medicare, or veteran benefits, you woke up that morning with one terrifying question: am I going to get paid? Stay with me until the very end of this video because I'm going to reveal the three things the government is not telling you about the shutdown that could cost you thousands of dollars if you don't act in the next 72 hours. What I share in the final 2 minutes could be the difference between financial security and disaster. Do not skip ahead. There's something uniquely cruel about using seniors as political pawns. These are people who worked their entire lives, paid into the system for decades, followed every rule, did everything they were supposed to do. And now in their retirement years, they're supposed to sit and wonder if the government will honor its promises. The phone calls started flooding Social Security offices the week before the shutdown, seniors asking if their checks would come, if their Medicare would still work, if their prescriptions would be covered. And the answers they got were careful, measured, filled with qualifications and contingencies. Not exactly reassuring. So let's start with the most important question. Your Social Security check. Is it coming? The short answer is yes. But let me explain why, because understanding this matters. Social Security is what's called mandatory spending. That means it's funded separately from the annual budget that Congress fights over. Your monthly payment doesn't depend on whether Republicans and Democrats can agree on a spending bill. The money comes from the Social Security Trust Fund, so your direct deposit should hit your account on schedule. Your paper check should arrive in the mail as usual. Now, I said should for a reason, because while the payments continue, the Social Security Administration itself is operating on a skeleton crew. As of October 1st, when the shutdown began, the SSA furloughed thousands of employees, the offices closed to the public, the phone lines went to minimal staffing, and that creates real problems. Let's say you're 64 years old and you are planning to apply for Social Security benefits this month. That process is frozen. The applications aren't being processed. Your retirement plans just got put on hold indefinitely. Or let's say you're already receiving benefits, but there's an error in your payment. Maybe they're deducting the wrong amount for Medicare premiums. Maybe your direct deposit information needs updating. Good luck getting that fixed right now. Wait times are measured in hours, not minutes. The Social Security Administration announced on October 1st, and I'm reading directly from their official statement, Social Security beneficiaries would continue receiving their Social Security disability insurance, and SSI payments. That sounds reassuring until you read the next part. Customer service will be disrupted, benefit verifications delayed, earnings record corrections on hold, overpayments processing frozen, replacing Medicare cards not happening. So yes, your check is coming. But if you need anything else from Social Security, you're out of luck until the shutdown ends. Now let's talk about Medicare, because this is where things get dangerous. Your Medicare coverage continues during the shutdown. If you need to see a doctor, you can. If you need to fill a prescription, you can. The Centers for Medicare and Medicaid Services have funding through the first quarter of 2026, so immediate medical care isn't at risk. But here's what is at risk. The CMS has furloughed more than 32,000 of its nearly 80,000 workers. That's almost 40% of their staff gone. What does that mean? Doctors and hospitals filing claims for Medicare reimbursement are facing delays in getting paid. If there's a dispute about coverage, there's almost no one available to resolve it. New Medicare applications are being processed at a snail's pace, if at all. And here's something most people don't know. Some critical healthcare programs are in serious jeopardy. Telehealth services, which millions of seniors depend on, especially in rural areas, those reimbursements could be cut. Dr. Zebley from the American Telemedicine Association warned Medicare beneficiaries will no longer have telehealth visits reimbursed. We will basically revert back to pre-pandemic restrictions, severely limiting access to urgently needed telehealth services. Think about what that means. If you're a senior living in a rural area, your nearest hospital might be an hour away. Telehealth has been a lifeline. If that gets cut off, your healthcare just got significantly more difficult and expensive. Um, and then there's the announcement that got delayed, the Social Security cost of living adjustment for 2026.
Every year in mid-October, the Social Security Administration announces how much benefits will increase the following year to keep pace with inflation. That announcement was scheduled for October 15th.
74 million Americans were waiting to find out how much their monthly check would go up in January. The estimates were pointing to a 2.7% increase. That would mean the average retiree getting around $2,000 a month would see their check go up by $54. But the shutdown delayed everything. The Social Security Administration confirmed yesterday, October 14th, that they're pushing the COLA announcement back to October 24th, 9 days late. That might not sound like a big deal, but think about the uncertainty it creates. Seniors trying to plan their budgets for next year don't know how much money they'll have. And speaking of Medicare, let's talk about what's coming in 2026, because the news is devastating. Medicare trustees released a report projecting that Part B premiums are going to jump by almost 12% next year. The standard monthly premium, currently $185, is expected to rise to $206.50. That's an extra $21.50 per month, or about $260 more per year. For someone on a fixed income, that's groceries, that's utilities, that's prescriptions. And here's the kicker. For higher income seniors, there's an additional surcharge called IRMA. In 2026, that surcharge kicks in for anyone whose 2024 income was greater than about $107,000 for individuals. Those higher earners could see their Part B premium go up by as much as $448 per month. Let me put that in perspective. A couple where both are on Medicare, both with income just over the IRMA threshold, could see their combined Medicare premiums increase by over $10,000 per year in 2026. And remember, Medicare premiums are deducted directly from your Social Security check. So when your COLA gives you an extra $54 a month, but your Medicare premium goes up by $30 to $40, your actual increase is barely noticeable. Now, the Trump administration has made some decisions that are making things worse. They cut a key federal subsidy for Medicare Part D prescription drug plans by 40%. In 2025, the Biden administration had pumped $6.2 billion in extra funds into Part D to keep premiums stable. The Trump administration decided that was too expensive and cut it.
Insurance companies are now scrambling, and you're going to pay the difference. Analysts predict Part D premiums could double or even triple, depending on the plan. And it gets worse.
Medicare Advantage plans are pulling out of markets. United Healthcare announced they're exiting certain markets entirely because they're losing money. Other insurers are following suit. Medicare Advantage enrollment will actually decline next year for the first time in nearly 2 decades. If you're on a Medicare Advantage plan and you got a notice saying your plan is being discontinued for 2026, you're not alone. Millions of seniors are in the same boat. And the open enrollment period to choose a new plan, October 15th to December 7th. Right in the middle of the government shutdown when getting help is nearly impossible, the timing couldn't be worse. The average Medicare beneficiary has 32 different plan options to choose from. 32. Comparing them is complicated under the best circumstances. Trying to do it during a shutdown, that's a nightmare. Let's talk about prescription drugs. The good news is the Inflation Reduction Act capped out-of-pocket costs under Part D at $2,100 per year. If you take expensive medications, this cap is a lifeline. Medicare also negotiated lower prices on 10 high-cost drugs like Eliquis and Stelara. The bad news? Almost everything else is getting more expensive. Monthly premiums are going up, deductibles are going up. The maximum annual deductible for Part D is going up from $590 to $615. That means you pay the first $615 of drug costs yourself before insurance kicks in. Now, let's connect this back to the shutdown. All these Medicare changes, all these premium increases, all these plan cancellations are happening during a shutdown when getting help is nearly impossible. The 1-800 Medicare hotline is operating with skeleton staff. Wait times are hours long. If you need help comparing plans or figuring out what to do if your plan is discontinued, you're largely on your own. Medicare counseling services funded by the government are also affected. Some are closed. Others are operating with limited hours. The resources you normally could turn to are diminished or unavailable. Let's talk about veterans. VA hospitals remain open. Prescriptions are still being filled. But if you're a veteran trying to file a new disability claim, that process is frozen. If you're waiting for a decision on an existing claim, expect delays. The VA furloughed thousands of employees, and those employees process claims, schedule appointments, and answer phone calls. Without them, everything slows to a crawl. Here's what really frustrates me about the situation. Seniors had nothing to do with the political disagreements that caused this shutdown. Yet they're the ones dealing with the consequences. While politicians argue, real people are sitting at kitchen tables trying to figure out how to stretch their fixed income to cover rising costs. Seniors are calling their banks to make sure deposits are coming. They're rationing medications. They're delaying doctor's appointments. They're losing sleep, worrying about things that shouldn't be uncertain. Your Social Security check should not be a political football. Your Medicare coverage should not be subject to budget negotiations. These are promises made to people who held up their end of the bargain. The cruelty isn't just in what might happen, it's in the uncertainty itself. Even if everything turns out okay, you still had to worry. You still had to feel that knot in your stomach. That's not how we should treat the people who built this country. Here's something else. Scammers are having a field day with the shutdown. Every time there's confusion about benefits, criminals target seniors. They send emails pretending to be from Social Security. They make phone calls claiming to be from Medicare. Let me be crystal clear. The Social Security Administration will never call you asking for your Social Security number. They will never email you asking to verify your banking information. They will never threaten to suspend your benefits unless you pay immediately. If you receive any communication like that, it's a scam. Hang up. Delete the email. During the shutdown, be extra cautious about any communication claiming to be from a government agency. Now, what should you actually be doing right now to protect yourself? First, if you don't already have one, create a My Social Security account on ssa.gov. This lets you check your benefit amount, download proof of income letters, and access important information without waiting on hold. Second, check your bank account to confirm your Social Security deposits coming through. Third, review your Medicare coverage carefully. If you're in a Medicare Advantage plan, check if it's being discontinued for 2026. You should have received a notice. If your plan is discontinued, choose a new plan during open enrollment, which runs through December 7th. Don't wait until the last minute. Fourth, if you take prescription medications, check if they're covered under your current plan and what costs will be in 2026. Use the Medicare Plan Finder tool to compare plans. This could save you thousands of dollars. Fifth, if you're planning to apply for Social Security benefits soon, understand that processing delays are likely. If possible, delay your application until normal operations resume. Sixth, document everything. If you're experiencing problems because of the shutdown, write down dates, times, and details. Seventh, reach out to your representatives in Congress. Your representative's office may be able to intervene on your behalf even during a shutdown. Now, let's talk about what happens if this drags on. The longer it goes, the worse it gets. Social Security payments will keep coming in the short term, but if this goes on for 3 months or more, even those could be at risk. Medicare and Medicaid have funding through the first quarter of 2026, but after that, things get dicey. We could see actual disruptions to healthcare services. Hospitals might stop accepting Medicare. Pharmacies might stop filling prescriptions. This is worst case scenario, but it's not impossible if the political situation doesn't improve. The VA would face similar issues. A prolonged shutdown could force the VA to cut services or delay treatments. And that's the real danger. Not what's happening right now, but what could happen if this becomes the new normal. If shutdowns become a regular political tool, seniors will bear the brunt every single time. Why? Because you're on fixed incomes. You can't just earn more money. You can't easily switch to private insurance if Medicare gets disrupted. You can't wait out delays if Social Security is your primary source of income. You're uniquely vulnerable, and politicians know that, which makes using seniors as leverage particularly cynical. Now, here are the 3 critical things I promised you at the beginning. The things the government isn't telling you that you must know in the next 72 hours. First, if your Medicare Advantage plan is being discontinued, you have until December 7th to choose a new plan. But here's what they're not telling you. The best plans fill up fast. If you wait until late November or early December, your choices will be limited. Um, the plans with the best drug coverage, the lowest premiums, the best provider networks, those get full. You need to act now. Go to medicare.gov/plan, compare today, not next week, today. Second, the Part D subsidy cuts mean some prescription drug plans will be canceled entirely in certain zip codes. If you're on a standalone Part D plan, there's a chance it won't exist in 2026. Check right now if your plan is available for next year. If it's not, you'll be automatically enrolled in a replacement plan, but that replacement might not cover your medications or might cost significantly more. You need to proactively choose a plan that works for you rather than getting auto-enrolled into something that doesn't. Third, and this is the most important, if you're planning to claim Social Security benefits in the next 6 months, file your application immediately. Even though processing is delayed, get your application in the system now. Here's why. Social Security benefits are retroactive for up to 6 months. But the clock starts when you file, not when they process it. If you wait until the shutdown ends to file, you could lose months of benefits you're entitled to. File now, even if it takes longer to process. Your future self will thank you. These 3 actions could save you thousands or even tens of thousands of dollars, but only if you act in the next 72 hours. After that, your options start disappearing. Plans fill up. Deadlines pass. Opportunities close. This is not the time to wait and see. This is the time to take control of what you can control. Now, if this information was helpful, if it gave you clarity about what's happening and what you need to do, I need you to do 2 things. First, share this video with every senior you know, your friends, your family members, your neighbors. They need this information. Second, subscribe to this channel and hit the notification bell because I'll keep you updated as the situation develops. The government shutdown is ongoing. The COLA announcement is delayed until October 24th. Medicare open enrollment ends December 7th. And millions of seniors are navigating all of this with limited help and maximum confusion. Don't be one of them. Take action now. Stay sharp, stay informed, and I'll see you in the next one.